Nick here, January 6, 2022. I I think I've got enough evidence for myself that following the moral code and just being letting the law of karma, law of cause and effect play out, not interfering with it, like um I've got the evidence, like, okay, uh the results are good. I'm now producing higher quality results than I was before, when my motives weren't pure, and when my logic wasn't consistent, and when my morals weren't up to snuff. So that's it, man. I've got something else going on, a new project that I think is going to be quality work. That's for other people to determine. But it's time for me to, I don't know what to say. It doesn't matter if my supernaturally, like, experience or whatever was real, because it compelled me to be like a decent person morally, for longer than 30 days, and I see the results of that. So whether the results I feel are just purely natural and this is how it feels to be a decent person, or there's really a law of cause and effect, and obeying the moral code is a part of that process if you want good quality results. Well, either way, it doesn't matter to me, because I feel what it feels like to be a decent person. That's kind of the most important thing to me right now. And I figured out a way to contribute to society, through this other project I'm going to be doing soon, another YouTube channel. And I just think it's nice. It's doing this, practicing for the other show that I wanted to start with my friend, and working out my kinks and my logic I was using, like figuring out I really wasn't a victim, of Charlie and all my ex-girlfriends or whatever, my mom, like, as much as I was making it out to be. There's things that I could never have done to myself, and whatever. I don't need to dwell on stuff like that. But then, after becoming aware of what I needed to do to fix myself, that was when it became my responsibility, and I couldn't blame anybody anymore for anything. So I was able to come to that conclusion, and now I don't have resentments anymore. Nothing like I did before. Like, I don't even think about it. I might as well not even consider it. I might as well just consider it that I don't have them. Old resentments I've been carrying around like my whole life. So, and it's been a great feeling, man. It's just a good feeling it was a good feeling to admit I was wrong about so many things, and just be able to learn from the mistakes and move on. My time in Connecticut in the Hartford Correctional institution or facility or whatever, it wasn't a bad thing for me to go there. I'm not of much help in that environment to the people that are there, because people that are in jail, a lot of them are pretty much committed to criminal thinking. And I don't fit in there anymore, and I don't want to talk about old stories about when I was doing good as a criminal, because I don't want to breathe life into those events anymore. I just want to let them die and go away, So I don't have anything to talk about with these guys in there. And it's like, and it hurts to see them going through it, what I went through. Even guys older than me that are just still doing it. And it's just like, I remember that, though, that was just how it was. That was what we did. We, meaning people with, I guess, sociopathic tendencies. But see, where I'm blessed in that I went to college and I learned about stuff. It was painful for me to learn the knowledge and absorb it at first, but I eventually worked through it. And because I had the knowledge, I couldn't claim ignorance anymore. And then I don't know, just everything worked out so that I was prepared. I had the knowledge that I needed to use to rehabilitate myself in the environment that the Hartford or the Connecticut Department of Corrections provided. So I didn't have to fight. I didn't have to. I mean, I would have. This is the thing. I regretted at first, like, not fighting this one time. This guy, like, threw my personal stuff. And in Florida, if I didn't do anything, then I would have been a predator magnet. And then people would have thought I was soft. And then I would have had to deal with people treating me like I was a pussy and trying to take my things. And, just disrespect me every which way that they could. That's how it would be down south. Now, up north in Connecticut, I resisted because I was trying to change my I had a really bad temper, and I was carrying it around the streets, and it was getting me in trouble, obviously, because I was in jail. And I was impulsive. My behavior was that of somebody who lacked self-control, and I had a basic disrespect for the law. Unfortunately, I admit it, but that's, obeying the moral code includes not doing dumb stuff that's going to get you put in jail, regardless of whether you think the law is moral or not. But anyway, that's for another episode, whatever. But I didn't fight the guy after he threw my antenna for my TV, because I didn't like the TV anyways. I liked the books, and I couldn't stand it that a TV was getting in the way of my being able to relax in the environment that I felt comfortable in. That this TV stuff was getting on my nerves. Everybody with their TV and their reception. And oh my gosh, I can't get good reception because, oh my God, I'd heard so many inmates cry about their receptions in Florida. You would be scared to death to cry about your reception. If you didn't get reception, you would keep your mouth shut, and that would be it. If you brought it up to an officer, it would be to an officer that you weren't worried was gonna put you on blast, and then you make your life hell. You know what I mean? In Florida, you don't do all that. These guys in Connecticut, you could complain to officers and cry, and you act like little babies about their. Anyways, I didn't fight the guy. I resisted the urge to react angrily with him and to say things that would have sparked him to act more angrily, and then eventually it probably would have led to a physical altercation. I resisted. And then when I thought I was going to be treated like a predator magnet, it didn't happen. Nobody cared. I figured it out. Everybody just thought he was an idiot. And that's the difference between Florida DOC and Connecticut DOC. The inmates, the officers, I'm just glad I wasn't in Florida. I'm glad I didn't make my mistakes in Florida again and then go through that, because I would still be carrying around that mentality, that the fighting mentality. I would still be feeling like that was part of my identity. But because I was in the Connecticut Department of Corrections, I was able to shed that identity. And it happened again. There was a guy I almost got in a fight, and I can't believe the words came out of my mouth. I actually said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And then I don't know why, he said no. And then I said, "I don't want to get in trouble." And we didn't fight. And people were like, "Wow, but we can't believe that he didn't fight, because he would normally fight that guy. And for some reason, you calmed him down." And people were, and I was like, holy shesh, because I was like, oh man, I gotta fight this guy. Because I felt disrespected, so I stood my ground, and then he felt disrespected, and then he got in my face, and he was bigger than me in this, that, and there. And we were actually in one of the only areas where we might have been able to get away with a fight in Connecticut. And my reaction when he came in was just to punch him right in the face. I couldn't believe that he didn't have his guard up so that he could, get his, he had his set was like way down, like he didn't know what he was doing. And I didn't punch him in the face for some reason. And then that thing I just said played out, where I asked him if he really wanted to do it. He said no. And then in Florida, if you say you don't want to get in trouble, that's the sign for everybody to go in and just take your stuff from you. Go in your locker. You can open your locker. If they think you're a pussy in Florida, you can open your locker, and they will walk up and just go in your locker, grab your stuff, and walk away and laugh at you. That's how it is in Florida if people think you're weak. So, anyways, I didn't see that. I think I heard about that once or twice, maybe 3 times, it happening to someone. It was like a freak thing in Connecticut, where it was an everyday thing for people in Florida. Not me, because I fought in Florida, so no one treated me like that. No, you won't find one inmate in the Florida DOC that's ever been in Florida DOC with me that will say I'm a coward at all. That one, I can promise you that you will never find that ever. And I'm not saying I'm a badass, but I can kind of say every time I do say it, nobody ever disagrees with me like it's a fact or something. But I'll go into a fight with somebody that can obviously beat my ass. I'd rather just get beat up than not fight the guy and then wear that and then have to walk around being the guy that didn't fight. You know what I mean? So people will know if I'll fight this guy that's obviously, can fight and is really big and all that, I'll fight any of these other guys. So that's how I got respect. And I don't recommend anyone making themselves a physical threat to me, especially now that my arm is hurt, because then now if I feel like I'm in danger, I'm like in fear for my life. And then if I'm in fear for my life, just because you could just imagine what length I'll go to prevent myself from being hurt. I'm much more dangerous now that my shoulder's hurt than I was before I was injured. So anyways, like being violent or reacting violently worked in the Florida chain gang. It worked in the Florida trailer parks I inhabited, and there's a part of me that I was actually able. I relapsed back into that frame of mind, like I was back in prison or in the trailer park. I was walking around New Hampshire on Facebook, acting like I was possessed by devils. There's a good way to put it. It was just a scary thing for people to witness, and I'm glad I went away. I'm glad I did the time I did in Connecticut. I hope I can just do probation, but if they feel like I need to go to jail, then I'm going to go do my work from inside jail. Same thing I did when I was in there, and just keep trying to shed those sociopathic tendencies that were kind of thrusted on me in my childhood before I was like 5. So, you know what I mean? I can take responsibility for a lot of stuff, but stuff that happened before I was 5, it's not my fault in a sense. But because I'm aware now, I can't claim ignorance, and I can't be like, hey, man, I was a self-fulfilling prophecy, so I was supposed to go to prison. I was predicted. Like, my childhood predicted that I would end up going to prison a bunch of times, and that I would be totally dysfunctional. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I learned that in my classes in child and adolescent development and human growth and development. Sociology was another tough one to have to learn about. And, so I saw my childhood. I got to relive my childhood through these classes and my experiences, and it just fed into a well of resentment that just fed into undeserved feeling or sense of entitlement that I carried around with me. And I was a toxic person to try to communicate with a lot, and I was just an unpleasant person to be around. And I feel sorry for anywhere where I inflicted people with a negative vibe or a toxic vibe, and But hey, man, y'all could be the judge of it, what whatever anyone thinks about me is true, I guess, in a sense. Anyone's point of view is true. I can't blame anybody for whatever opinion they have of me. I'm finally becoming a decent person, 44 years old. Thank goodness. Thank God. So, all right, that's all. I think I've rambled enough. Thank you.